It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. There's a reason rappers can turn any story into a hit track. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, your case could be worth millions. But the truth is, a lot of people either don't file at all or get taken advantage of by insurance companies. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. No shortcuts, no lowball offers. In fact, they've secured some major verdicts in the past. For example, in Florida, they got a victim who was in a life-altering car crash, $12 million. 34 times the highest insurance offer. They got another victim in Philadelphia, $26 million. 40 times the highest insurance offer. Not all law firms are created equal. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason. They will fight for the biggest award possible and have won a lot. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless you win. That's right, no upfront costs. They only get paid if you get paid. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. Again, if you find yourself injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Don't say I never told you nothing, man. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Once again, just want to thank everybody. I'm still getting them 2025 recaps and seeing myself at the number one spot, number two spot, number three spot, man. This shit is extremely endearing. Had no idea so many people was putting hours in. I mean, I see y'all in the chat, I see y'all in the comments, but there's so many people outside of y'all that I see so much that are sending that to me. So just want to say thank you to everybody once again as we bring this year to a close. I know we got a couple more weeks, but yeah, man, I greatly appreciate y'all for real. Now, since we're talking about viewership, of course we know that the Diddy documentary is out. Sean Combs' The Reckoning, which was put out via Netflix through 50 Cent as an executive producer and Alex Stapleton, who directed it. And ever since it came out, it's been causing nothing but additional controversy. A lot of the stuff in the documentary has already been explored and talked about through so many different mediums. But at the same token, there's so many people that Netflix is able to reach. So although we're clued in on a lot of stuff online, there's always going to be people who are passive consumers of this information, and they're only going to get it from the most popular sources. And a lot of people are walking away from this Diddy documentary with a lot of questions, a lot of assertions, and a lot of people saying, keep his ass in that motherfucking cell. Okay? Now, on the flip side of that, we've got some people that are like, yo, this is overkill. This is too much. Leave him alone. You're kicking a man while he's down. And that's where we insert Marlon Wayans. Okay? Because he's coming out, or Wayans, he's weighing in and saying, hey, man, how much more can we do with this Diddy thing? Like, all right, we know he's in jail. We understand what the situation is, not co-signing his actions. But how far are we going to take it? And he's looking at it from a production standpoint as well, saying, you know, how can we verify that everything is true? Let's look at the source of who is being released by, as in 50 Cent. What is the agenda that he's trying to push with this, being that he and Diddy are not, you know, in a good place, etc., right? 50 Cent ain't finna play no games with Marlon. And we also have Ja Rule coming out, and he's continuing to push back on 50 as well, all right? And they're basically calling into question his credibility, something that I've acknowledged here on my channel. And they basically trying to say, yo, you put this thing out on Diddy, and you're getting into all the skeletons in his closet, but what happens when the hip-hop world gets into yours? When the pendulum swings the other way, and we have another can of worms to open, and Pandora's box gets pried. Okay? So that's what we're dealing with here. The two sides of that coin, and it's definitely ongoing. So here we have the initial statement from Marlon Wayans speaking on 50, Diddy, the documentary, whatever.
We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
But you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have?
I could create a narrative.
Well,
I
we
could be
see it all the time in reality shows.
Like,
nah,
reality
that's right.
shows.
Yeah,
That's how
you're
they
creating
you write
a
a
narrative.
character.
It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
Well,
between.
people are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is going to...
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
All right. Now you could tell that video is spliced into, maybe, I don't know, everything that was taken out. Could have been breaths. It could have been other things. But the overarching message is still the same, that he doesn't necessarily seem to agree with it. You know what I mean? We got to be all the way honest. We're not going to be fake around this. Marlon has released another statement. We're going to get to that momentarily. But on the surface, as you hear this, it looks like he's saying he's not really supporting this. Now, he did not say that he co-signed Diddy's actions or anything that he's done. To me, it sounds like he's just kind of over the conversation. What I don't like about what he said is kicking a man while he's down. He's not down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people may say, well, yeah, he is. And from the outside looking in, you might say so. But he ain't down. Like, he's facing the consequences of his actions and the lifestyle that he led and the decisions he deliberately made, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but over the course of his 30 years in entertainment. That's not a mistake. That's not a lapse in judgment. That is a series of decisions that went on up until the nigga was arrested. Okay? So let's just be clear about the verbiage and the things that we're saying, because words do have meaning. And even if you misinterpret your own, I can tell you that the people are going to read between the motherfucking lines. All right? So here we have the follow-up from Marlon Wayans trying to clarify his stance.
All right, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, your freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Now back to trolling this troll. All right.
Okay. So that's Marlon Wayans with his follow-up to try to clear some things up. And my response to what he just said is, again, on the surface, he's somewhat correct. The problem I have with this statement is, Marlon Wayans, you've been in entertainment how long, brother? 30 years? So just as much as you know how narratives, propaganda, manipulation works, why would you allow yourself to be used by the machine? If you didn't want to be a part of this Diddy 50 Cent conversation when they asked you about it, all you had to say is, I don't know what's going on. Right? I know Diddy. I've met 50 a few times. I've been to some parties. I didn't see nothing. But man, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh, Diddy and 50 got a problem? I don't know what's going on. Hate to see that happening. Let's talk about my movie. Let's talk about what I got going on. Let's talk about how my family's been employing actors and comedians in the industry for 40 years. A good redirect is your best friend. That's media training 101. They teach you that when you first get in the game, and you learned it earlier than most. So why would you allow yourself to be used by the machine? That's what I don't understand. And it shouldn't take a nigga like me to have to point that out. But that's the elephant in the room. If you didn't want to be a part of it, stay out of it. Because there's nothing on the other side of you having your so-called opinion. Yeah, you can have your opinion. Only problem is your opinion is essentially a selling point on whether people want to fuck with you or not. You've been having a rebirth in Hollywood for the last 3 years, with people coming back and discovering and saying, damn, Marlon Wayans is really a good actor. He's not just a comedian. He can do drama. He can do thrillers. He can do all of these different ranges of characters. But just at the drop of a dime, people don't buy into your character no more. They don't buy your tickets no more. Then what? You know what I'm saying? So all of this type of stuff, again, as a veteran, you got hit. You got caught sleeping. And it just is what it is. And now you're trying to do the cleanup, and the cleanup ain't looking as tidy as the spill. So here we have 50 Cent responding with a screenshot of Marlon in White Chicks saying, keep my name out your mouth, boy. And you already know, both 50 and Marlon, they get with the online antics. They'll troll your ass. They're going to go at it. So I guess they found they match with this shit here. So he says, keep my name out your mouth, boy. Marlon Wayans shares a post with 50 Cent on the movie poster of 12 Years a Slave. Says, now let's think about this, 50. So he's calling him a slave of some sort. Okay. 50 Cent claps back at Marlon Wayans with a clip of the comedian talking about attending Diddy parties in the past. Says, I'm number 1 in 49 countries. I want all the smoke, pump. And this is the clip being used.
I never, those aren't the type of parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties. And even if I go, like I said, been doing Diddy parties for 15 years, and I must say, you never let me down, Puff. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Good times, people. I've never seen any of this. I'm like, when I hear about it, when did that happen?
Okay. So he's using movie clips against him and his own words in the Club Shay Shay interview against him, saying he didn't go to the parties, but then he has posts talking about he'd been going to Diddy parties for 20 years, and then him saying, I never seen none of this stuff. Okay? He then posts a video of himself smoking a cigar, saying, for the record, I don't condone any abuse of women, period, unlike some people who have a track record of domestic violence. Okay? Now, that, of course, is also alluding to 50. All right? What does this say here? Just enjoying my life and my Liga Tridente. Cigars, calm before the storm. For the record, I don't condone any abuse of women, period. Unlike some people who have a track record of domestic violence, I got 5 sisters and a mother I honor. I rep us always. Don't let anyone create narratives. Marlon Wayans is an exceptional man. Okay? Good day, Curtis. That is the word from Marlon. Where the hot tub thing at? You gonna mention it? Why you ain't posted? I know it's AI, but fuck it. So this is the post they're alluding to since they didn't want to put it up. So this is the AI photo of Diddy and 50 in a hot tub, which, hey, kind of convincing if you didn't know any better. And he says, just for the record, bro, let's correct the narratives, Curtis. Rub-a-dub-dub. Stop. 50 then comes with photos of Marlon playing with rainbow balls in a bathtub. Says, Diddy got this fool trying to get at me. LOL. No AI. That's your vibe, boy. Keep my name out your mouth. Now, to some people on the surface, these photos of Marlon may look questionable, but if my memory serves me correct, he did this photo shoot in support of his child, okay, who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Again, if I'm not mistaken. So 50 Cent's using that as an aha, but if you're familiar with this, you would kind of already know the origin of these photos. Now, enter Ja Rule. Ja Rule has been out here reviving this situation with 50 since this Diddy documentary came out. And he's decided to share photos of 50 Cent and Diddy, old reports about 50 Cent, and claims he's about to do a documentary on 50 Cent. The quote here says, "Let me be clear, this ain't about Diddy. He's already in jail serving time as he should be. This is about this sucker Curtis acting like he's hip-hop moral savior, going on TV with them tight-ass nasty suits and that big-ass jughead when you're no different, allegedly. I wonder when it went wrong. They look so happy together." Okay? Got the scoop. Post this one here. So this is a series of photos of Diddy and 50. Extra chummy. You know? And back in the day, 50 also did some ghostwriting for Diddy. Okay? So they did the I Get Money remix. They've appeared on stage together a number of times. So he's saying, where did it go bad? He then puts this screenshot here. 50 Cent's Long Island home burns down. Allegedly, 50 burnt that house down on purpose with his baby mother and child, Marquise, in the house in the midst of a $50 million lawsuit that she was coming out against him with. Okay? So that's what Ja's alluding to here. He says the mother of 50 Cent's child accused the rapper of trying to burn them to death after a suspicious fire ripped through their Long Island home early today. This is back in 2008. He tried to kill me and his own child, said Shaniqua Tompkins, 31, who miraculously survived the suspicious 4 a.m. blaze, which leveled the $2.4 million mansion in Tony Dix Hills. Ja Rule then says, I think I'm going to start doing docs. There's a lot to unpack here, allegedly. So he like, shit, since everybody's doing documentaries about their enemies, why don't I get in on the fun? Okay. Following Ja's post, 50 Cent reacted to him. And he posted a clip of Gene Deal. Okay? And he says, in case you're wondering why these people are saying very, very nasty things about me, what are you, stupid? Are you stupid, Miss Piggy? LOL. So in this video, Gene Deal alludes to the time where Ja Rule and Diddy were allegedly running around naked in a hotel or something, but don't take my recollection of it. Let's play Gene.
And the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, He busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bro, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothered him. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed him and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Jay, that's my cousin. He know me well. And Puff was like, yo, Jay, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on.
All right. Now, I'm not going to assume that it was just them two in the room. My question is, they ran out. Who was left in there? If it was a whole lot of freaky going on. Again, I don't play some of the games that other people play, but you heard it here. You know what I mean? I don't know any allegations of Ja being on the other side, so I would assume that there was women in there, but we don't know. It could have just been them too. I don't know. But that's 50's post of Gene Deal speaking about them. And I would be remiss if I don't mention, now Gene Deal, not only Gene Deal, but also Choke No Joke. After the release of this Sean Combs' The Reckoning, they've decided to backtrack on some of their previous statements, which I find to be very interesting, right? As it pertains to the nature of Justin Combs, Misa Hilton. There's been rumors for very many years of whether or not Justin is actually Diddy's child. Many people have speculated that Justin is actually the offspring of Diddy's former security, Wolf, who is deceased and has been for a very long time. And Gene Deal kind of aided in that rumor spreading. He's talked about it. He never confirmed or denied it, but he gave it a certain level of plausibility, especially when you look at Justin and you look at the picture of Wolf side by side and you see different similarities. You can tell he doesn't look like Diddy at all. So he assisted in the spreading of that narrative. He's now backtracking and saying that Justin and Misa Hilton were just casualties of war. And now, me and Diddy, we're going at it. So I wasn't going to come out and say anything to give him leverage. I was keeping my foot on his neck, in so many words, right? But it's kind of like a retraction of the statement, just saying, oh, they were just casualties of war because I needed to say what I needed to say to protect or to be on the offense. Choke No Joke, on the other hand, who claims Suge Knight told him that Diddy had put the hit out on Tupac. And of course, in the documentary, they get into the possibility of that and Keefe D going down. But now, Choke No Joke is coming out and saying Suge lied to him. So I think it's very interesting that people who come onto these platforms, they speak firmly, they speak confidently, they speak in a manner in which you can't question them on what they say. And then they're coming back months later, if not years later, literally questioning what they're saying about their own narratives. Again, this is why I've never been big on Gene Deal. I take his words with a grain of salt. He was around, so there are certain things that I may believe, and there's other things that I don't. I feel like he is disingenuous and self-serving. He's been on YouTube doing these interviews since I was really old enough to get on YouTube my damn self. Some of these interviews date back 10, 12, 13 years. He's been telling these stories and these narratives, and I'm guessing that people have been paying him to come on these platforms for a very long time, which is how he's I would say partially, because I don't know his finances, able to take care of himself. But I find that strange. Choke No Joke has also been on a YouTube tour for the last few years outside of his own channel. So all this stuff is strange to me. Now, what I find even stranger is Ja Rule's reaction to this being posted. So after 50 posts this video about him and Diddy running out of a hotel room, bucket naked, reaching for their towels, Ja Rule says, I thought Jughead was smarter than that, posting a blatant lie to your millions of minions. Slander and defamation, dummy. Lawsuit on the way. So now Ja, instead of beefing up the narrative for his so-called documentary on Icon the app, he's now alluding to a potential lawsuit. Interesting. Defamation, he says. I don't know how that's gonna stick. You're gonna probably need a little bit more than that video from Gene Deal to make defamation stick. We see how tricky it can get with that. So yeah, man, that's what's going on with these niggas. Like, I told y'all the other day, I'm definitely exhausted with the Diddy shit. We still got a couple more weeks. I did say 2026, we over that shit. Y'all better come out now or forever hold your peace. And the people are coming out now. People is not holding their peace unless they actually holding their peace. But I don't want nothing to do with that neither. You know, with people covering themselves naked with towels and stuff, you know. But y'all let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. And I'll be back with more information, news, and etc. at a later time. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace. Yeah. Family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and greats unacknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I could do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The sympathy cause consulting for the stacks I built. I had to evolve and grow cause I could've